Coaching, in my opinion, is about 40% knowledge and 60% the understanding of how to impart that, the science and the art. So when it comes to fighting, when it comes to teaching guys how to strike, I use my knowledge of my demographic to try to articulate a way to get them to understand the principles behind what I'm trying to explain. When it comes to punching, striking, most men, when they see pads and see a bag, they get excited. They've never been taught how to punch properly. And what happens is, it's all arm punches, or they lean in and they put themselves off balance and the techniques can't flow and they struggle to get like hooks because they don't understand the concept that the arms are the weapon and the body, the torso, the feet, the hips, they're what generate the force. So I use a couple of ways of trying to get guys to understand this through ways that they understand from childhood. And most guys my age are going to be kids of the 80s. So when you grew up in the 80s, there were bands like Erasure and Bros that were very cheesy pop music. And the best way I can describe it is wedding dancing. Your ma goes to a wedding and they're all like, ha 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 ha, yeah. And they're all listening, it's all leg movement and it's all flurry and woo. But that concept, like Erasure, don't you want me, baby? Do you remember the two-step? That is punching. When you understand that concept, you'll understand how to punch and you can apply it to doing it. Remember, the force you're going to generate from a punch is going to be determined by the movement of the body. I can punch with my arm, but that's only going to encompass my shoulders, the bicep and tricep, all the forearm muscles and the fist. It's very light compared to the 84 kilo that I can generate through the punch and let this be the end product. So when you get your stance, knees bent, 45-degree angle, standing on train tracks, best way I can describe it would be feet together, hip width apart, step. If you're right-handed, you're going to step your left foot forward and then you're going to pivot in the heels. So you're at a 45-degree angle, fist up to the right hand, up to your chin, left hand looking down the side of a gun. Okay, this way it makes you a smaller target and it keeps you more compact, knees bent, and you're tucked in, protecting the vital organs, protecting the vital areas. If you look down at your feet, you should have the rear foot slightly ahead of the front foot. The reason being, when I throw a jab, whatever my jab hits, I know I will reach if I throw properly with the rear. So what I want you to concept of thinking of, instead of lunging forward, do the two-step. So you take your hands out of it and you just slide, and you'll notice that the foot works and then the hand follows. The foot pulls back, the hand follows as I twist. And I like to just get this going like this. And I tell them, imagine your arms are paralyzed and you have to fight. So how are you going to throw this punch if you can't lift your arm? Well, you're going to whip it around. And technically that's a punch. I'm going to whip my hips into it, and then the punch comes through. And then it's just a case of tightening it down. The jab, hip turns into it. Don't think of pushing, lifting your back leg off. Think of you're almost driving the weight from the back leg. Another one I use to get the example of would be the Roadrunner and the Wile E. Coyote. Do you remember when the Coyote used to like TNT all the way across, and then he would light it and go and then explode? That's a punch. Here's the spark. Here's the spark. And what I'm doing is I'm lighting the fuse, and the energy travels up my body, and the explosion is the end product, the punch. So the jab, light it, hip, just a very small hip movement to get that movement going. And then the back leg, I generate the hips back and throw the other punch out. A good way to think about this is, instead of trying to create force with the hand you're punching with to begin with, think of pulling this hand back fast, and that pulling back will cause your body to react the different way, to actually throw the punch correctly. As long as you're moving your feet and letting the hips work and not throwing the arms, you will get there eventually. It's like dancing. It takes a while to get good at it. But as long as you get the principles, you'll get there in the end. Also, these are like the basics. This is like the bog standard, the A, B, C's. But you can't get the X, Y, Z before you have the ABC done. So the ABC are the principles, and all the letters after that is you creating your own style. McGregor's got a different style to Mayweather. Mayweather's got a different style to Tyson. Tyson's got a different style to Duran. But they all have the principles before they make their own flair style or their own aggressive style, whatever way they fight. If you can get the principles nailed and understand why you're doing what you're doing, then as you go progress in the game, you'll be able to learn more and you'll be able to adapt it to your own body type and your own system. Give that a go.